You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Monday, 29th day of January, 2018. Hope you had a great weekend. Spent quality time with the family. I saw you in church yesterday, always good. And I'm glad you're here today. Whoever you are and wherever you are, we're happy to have you right here, right now. If you're returning, welcome back. If it's the first time, a special CFRN welcome to you. If you can't see the chart I have up, which is the S&P 500 E-mini Futures, go to our home page at cfrn.net. On the right hand side of the page, click the big microphone, and you'll be registered all the way through Wednesday. It's a monthly thing, so if you also register again on the 1st of February, you'll be registered all the way through the month of February, and that means you can join the show each day with one-click access, see all the charts, and access the chat box. That is your window to the world. We have a global audience, and so if you have something you want to share, get off your chest, praise report, a complaint, whatever it might be, the chat box is there. Don't be shy. Only Michael and I see what you type, and so we always respect your anonymity if it seems appropriate. All right? Very good. The other method, go to youtube.com/CFRN/live. During a live show, we have a live stream there. The rest of the time, just youtube.com/CFRN. Okay? That's how you do it. Let's take a look at the numbers from around the world and see what's happening on this Monday as we wind down the first month of the year and we approach the 31st, when we will have a supermoon, a blue moon, a total eclipse of the moon, and a Fed announcement. That's what I said. That's what I said. What do you think? They go a half a point? Throw everybody off their game like they used to? Half a point? 3/4? Well, not with these numbers. The Dow down 117 points. These are the cash markets, not futures. We'll get to those in a moment. NASDAQ down 25 points. S&P 500 down 11. And the Russell 2000 down 5.5. Color of the day, red. All right. In our commodity basket, crude oil down 88 cents. That's over 1%. Trading 65.26 last. Gold tumbles $13.50, exactly 1%. Trading 13.3860 last. As we move to the Asian markets, looks like more of the same. The Nikkei closed down just 2.5 points. Shanghai down 35 at the close. That's almost 1%. And the Hang Seng down 187, which is a little better than half of 1%. So color of the day in the US of A, red. Asia, red. Let's turn to Europe, where, except for the FTSE, the color of the day would have been red. FTSE actually closed positive, up 6 points on the session. The DAX down 15 and the CAC down 7.5. So not a lot of movers and shakers, but definitely color of the day red. In fact, the only green I see anywhere is the FTSE. That's all, folks. So Michael's going to come give us a recap of what took place in the live training room today. And as soon as he's done, I'll be back to talk to you about this chart, about last week's highest weekly trading zone. We'll check in with John and lots more. So stick around. You ready, Mike? Michael, are you ready? Okay, Michael's not ready. All right, so let's do this. We will see what Bitcoin did over the weekend. CryptoDailyInfo.com. Just click on the Trading View charts. This guy Wise, who came out with this rating system for cryptocurrencies, we said on the show that he was going to make a lot of enemies with that, and that's exactly what's happened. Bitcoin got a C. Well, I guess some would say we're still building that base. Others might say, well, it's a red day in Bitcoin land, and both of those would be true. See this top, see this bottom, and now all this activity coiling. The further we base to the right, as some would say, if you drew a trend line even from here to here, you know, that would probably be, I'll try drawing it later on the futures chart. Let's see if we get something similar. So we've definitely got to take out this high, and we got to take out this high, and then we will glide right to here. It's a battle all the way up. Markets fall easily. All that's required for the markets to fall is for buyers to stop buying. For prices to rise, it actually takes financial commitment. Big difference. Okay, Michael, did I hear you there? I did not. Okay. Then let us turn the UK crypto trader forced to hand over Bitcoin at gunpoint. A British man who runs a cryptocurrency trading firm was yesterday forced at gunpoint to hand over an unknown quantity of Bitcoin. The incident, which reportedly took place in the village of Molesford in South Oxfordshire, is said to be the first Bitcoin heist in their country. It was reported to the local police this morning. According to a police spokesperson, Thames Valley Police is investigating an aggravated burglary which occurred at a property in Molesford. No one was seriously injured during the incident, no arrests have been made. The report describes how 4 robbers forcefully entered the residence and tied up a woman while demanding that the trader, whose name is Danny Aston, transfer Bitcoin at gunpoint. Aston's cryptocurrency trading firm was established in June 2017 as Aston Digital Currencies Limited. This is not the first case of armed robbery involving Bitcoin. We talked about one on Friday. A similar incident was reported in Ottawa on the 23rd of January. In that crime, 3 armed men gained control over employees of a Bitcoin financial institution before fleeing empty-handed, as previously reported. One suspect has been charged by the local police following the Bitcoin heist, and 2 more of the accused robbers are being sought. The charges include robbery with a firearm and forcible confinement. We talked about that one as well. Are you there, Michael? I wonder what happened to Michael. See if something is holding him up. Okay. This chart here that I have up, S&P 500, Emini Futures, all-time historic high. We did break out on Friday above the highest weekly trading zone. Okay. And we closed Friday at, that's 28. There we go. We closed the week at 28.74.75. Last night, Globex opened. So we closed above the weekly trading zone. Highest. Doesn't happen often, but it has happened, and it did. Now look where price came. Right back to 55.56. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. Comes back, hits 55.56, and it's attempting a bounce. This long wick here, obviously sellers here coming in early, trying to drive it down, put in another leg, retrace, leg, retrace. If we break down through that 55.56 area, partners, well, you know what we're looking at this week for weekly trading zones. The partners get the weekly trading zones typically 6:15 every Monday morning Eastern before Wall Street wakes up. Today was a rare occurrence where they came out just a little bit late, but everybody had them. And then on Thursdays, I open up the zones to everyone in the audience. And if you take note of those on Thursday, they can help you out in Thursday and Friday's trading. And they'll even help you to a degree when Sunday night Globex opens and Monday and Tuesday carry over power of the zones. Okay, Michael didn't respond to my text, and I'm not, oh, there he is. I see he's typing in now. Okay. Perhaps he told me he wasn't coming. Yeah, he'll be right here. Now, last night on the Concierge Trade Alerts, on the S&P 500 here, I'll give you a chance to grab a screenshot if you want one. Okay. Those came out later than normal too. I try to get them out by 9 p.m. typically. Oh, and there goes the flashing. Nice. There has to be a reason behind that. You have to grab your screenshot on the off flash. Okay. I got to investigate that. Alright. So what we suggested was that you consider buying 2880, but never triggered. And if you're unable to buy 2880, consider selling 2870. And that's going to be right here. 2870. Hello, Michael.
Okay. Hey, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
All right. It is 12:20.
Yeah. Now, you'll notice here, guys, Michael's going to take a screen in just a second, but let me just go ahead and put this in and show you. So, 70. Now, the first time we came down, we put in a low at 2864. Yeah. So that's 6 S&P points, $50 a point. It's $300 per contract available. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested, right? So what did it do? Comes, gets back above the trigger, rolls over, and hits 56. Actually 55. So 55, 65. That's 15 S&P points at $50 per point. How much is that, math guy?
$50 times 15. That would be $750.
That's what I was thinking. Times $50 per point equals $750 per contract available. Okay. So nice moves on the S&P. We haven't, well, this pullback, if we just take a look at this last leg up as displayed on the 30-minute chart. From the swing low to the swing high, we got a 50% Fibonacci retracement, which just so happened, surprised me, from the low to the high, the 50% Fibonacci retracement, see the yellow line? It laid down right in the middle of last week's highest weekly trading zone. So when you ask, okay, so why did it come back to here? Some might say, well, the zone, important prices, important areas, and others would say the 50% Fibonacci retracement would both be truthful statements about how markets work and what actually happened. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Michael, take her away.
Okay. All right, let me just grab stuff and bring it over here.
So on Wednesday, again, guys, we have a super moon, a blue moon, a total eclipse of the moon, and a Fed meeting. And a Fed meeting.
And a Fed meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the big four. Big four on Wednesday.
Nothing going to affect anything on Earth whatsoever, right?
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I was reading an article, even though they say it's going to happen on the 31st, which is Wednesday, it will be in the early morning hours of Wednesday. So for some people that would be like, well, that's Tuesday night. Well, once it rolls past midnight, now it's Wednesday. So if you go out looking for all that stuff Wednesday night, you won't find it. You got to get up really early Wednesday morning if you're here in the U.S. Well, you different parts of the U.S. and different parts of the world. Some will see it, some won't see it. Some will see it better than others. But if you go out Wednesday night, you won't see it.
What are the 4 things again? The Fed meeting.
Okay, you got the Fed meeting, blue moon, super moon, and a total eclipse of the moon.
Wow. That just seems like, I don't know.
The last time that happened, Elvis fit in that jumpsuit. No, it's been a lot longer than that. I don't know that it's ever played. I was reading some statistics. I don't know if all 3 have ever happened on the same day before. Maybe they have.
In a Fed meeting.
That
Probably
part,
not.
we throw in a Fed meeting. I'm going to guess that has never happened.
I'm going to guess. And so, well, we'll see what happens.
All right, buddy. Let me hit
It's
mute.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right.
Take it away.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. You guys are looking at my charts right now, but let me open up the question box. And slide that down. All right. And this, friends, sorry. Oh, that's right. I had to open it up again. Okay. Here we go. If you guys have not taken a free trial with us, if anyone has not taken a free trial with us, and you want to, well, then go to the homepage here at CFRN.net, and right up here at the top it says sign up for the CFRN live training room. 100% free trial. User indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, let me find, I think it's this one. Yeah. When you click there, you'll be brought here. Okay. All we ask for here is your email, your first name, and how you found us, and then just hit the submit button. Once you do that, you'll be sent to a confirmation link. You need to click on that confirmation link. Okay. If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know you took the free trial. Now, today, this one's at the bottom already. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures at the bottom. Today, the 29th of January 2018, we made 7 ticks in the Euro, 3 ticks in the Russell, and even with my glasses on, I can't see that. 8 ticks in the gold. That put us at 133.75. Okay. Now, if you scroll over here, you'll see it took us 87 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day today. At that point, we were up $105 a contract, and we took a total of 5 trades. On the month now, we're at $2,363. That's over 17 days, averaging $139 per day. Now, that number is 1 contract, 2 hours per day. The goal in the 24/20 blueprint is to get you up to 20 contracts. So multiply that number by 20, and that is the potential. Oops. Here, let me do it this way. The year is the same as the month. This month. Okay, for a few more days, the year is going to be the same as the month. Starting next month, we'll have to, once we get in here into February, this will not be the same as this down here. Okay. All right. So now that that is done, let's go through what happened today. Let me back that out a little bit. Today in gold, right here there was a shorting opportunity. Now it was not off the BBC because the cycle down here was blue. If the cycle were red, then the entry would have been up here, but because it was blue, we had to be below the trend line. And Valerie, I don't know if you're out there. Hang on, let me look and see. Nope, she's not there. But I didn't have my support and resistance lines on at the time. Okay, otherwise I wouldn't have taken that one. There was a follow-up right here. The reason I wouldn't have taken it is because we had dynamic support printing and we had not broken it. And it was a momentum trade. And it was followed up by a momentum trade right here that went one tick, right, that we missed. But right here, where it pulled back up to it, this is where it broke it, okay, where it broke dynamic support. And then it pulled back up, came back down, hit the BBC, gave an up close. Now this up close right here was the spot that I meant to enter, but I got a little bit of slippage, and so I ended up entering up here a little bit higher. And we ended up with a break even on that one. Now this one would have gotten us the goal for the day, I think. This one did get us the goal for the day, right? 87 minutes, is that right? Yeah, that's about right. This was, you see, we had broken dynamic support. These green dots right here, they are dynamic support. When we closed down below it, that had broken it, and it pulled back up. And I drew the trend line because we had 2 bars there. All we needed was a close below that trend line, and we got that right there. Okay, that was our opportunity. And so we took it, and we got another 4 ticks. Right, so we got 4 ticks over here and 4 ticks over here to give us 8 ticks on gold. This one right here, I had drawn the trend line and I had looked away and read an email. There was no trade here because we did not continue the trend right here. We did not continue the trend. Okay, we needed to close down below this level. That's why there was no trade here. Okay, and even if I did do it, if I did it and I did everything the way that I normally do things, I'm on the G contract, G8. Okay. Last I looked, the G had more volume. Let me go take a look again because somebody asked me that the other day too. All right, G right now is 244,000. Yeah, G is the contract to be on. J has 189, but you should be on the G contract. G has more volume. Okay. But there are going to be differences if you're on the J. If you're on the J, then there are going to be differences. Okay. And we can go look at that if you want. We can explore that in just a minute. Let me just finish up what I'm doing here. Alright, so the cycle started going up really steep here, so there was no opportunity to trade, and then it got really choppy, and then we ended the morning session. In the break, there was a long opportunity from right here. That's still going. Okay, that's from right there. EFGHIJ. Hang on. Okay, this is the J. It's a lot like the G right now, looks like, except higher. Let's see what it would have done. Right in here, this is where I took the short on the G contract, and if I didn't have dynamic support and resistance on here, I would have done the same thing. And right over here is where I took a long, and I would have done the same thing. And right over here is where I took a short, and I would have done the same thing. You see the arrows down here. I would have done the same thing. And then it got really choppy. It still didn't put in a lower swing here, so there would have been no way to get into that. There was the follow-up here, but the cycle was moving up. And there was the long right over here. It was the same thing on the G. Now, I'm going to go back to the G. Okay, because the G has more volume. And so you can see, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're doing it. The trade setups are the same. And it's the same thing over and over and over and over. And that was gold today. And this is the euro today. And what do we do on the euro? We had a couple. We had a couple, but one of them I did not mark. I don't know where it was. But anyway, on the first one here on the euro, we had 4 ticks profit. Okay. Then we had, this would have been a close above the trend line that I did not draw. But I'll draw the trend line for you now. That's close above the trend line. So we had an opportunity there. And I don't know where I got the second one, but the second one was 3 ticks, and it could have been anywhere in here. All right, let's just say it was here. This up close right here was a long opportunity. Right there, that up close was a long opportunity, and I got 3 ticks profit somewhere. This down close right here was a short opportunity. I think that's where it was, because it had drawn back a bit. It had drawn back a bit before it gave me any profit. And then that ended up being a nice short trade there. We got 3 ticks out of it. And then we get, I don't know what happened right here between 18 and 19. 11.18 and 11.19. But anyway, the markets moved around quite a bit, and in here there would not have been a long opportunity until right here, right there, for that bounce up, and then it gave it all back, and there would not have been a short opportunity until right here. Okay, for that leg down, but it would have been a break even for me, because I would have moved my stop to break even on the close below the MA1 right there. All right. Let's see, now we're into the break, and it was really choppy. Really choppy until we get over here. And then it made a leg up. And that was it. All right. On the crude now. On the crude. Let's see. We didn't do anything with the crude today, but there was a shorting opportunity here, and then we were waiting for it to break down below this level. It broke down below it, and then it pulled back up, and it brought the cycle back up with it. I did not see this, but there was a bounce off the BBC right there, and it looks like there was a long opportunity here. It would have been a break even. All right, and then once we broke dynamic resistance, there was a long opportunity right here for that, and another one right there for that. Okay, and that was it on the crude. And the crude's still going up, so there's a good opportunity there. Hang on, there we go. The computer has come back to life. All right, on the Russell. On the Russell, we missed that one, we missed that one, and we missed that one. So that was a win, that was a win. That would have been a loss. Then we changed directions, and it looks like right here was a momentum short on the Russell. And bounce off the BBC right here that we missed. A momentum long right there that we missed. Where the heck was that this morning? Oh, you know what? On Mondays I have a lot going on. And there, and there, and there. Yeah. In hindsight, I'm amazed that I did not get more profit on this. But we did get this one right here, and we got 2 ticks profit on this one. And then things got choppy. There was a long opportunity right here that went 4 ticks into profit. Stop would have gone to break even. Wow. And then it got really choppy during the break. And I would not have gone long here because we were not trending. Okay. And that was it on the Russell. Now we'll go to this ES. All right, here on the ES, we started out. We started out here. All right in the zone. And then it worked its way up above the zone, and it gave a momentum long trade right here. Now with a momentum trade, you got to move your stop to break even as soon as you get any profit in the trade. And so right there, 1, 2, 3 times, you could have moved your stop to break even. So you should have had a break even out of that. Then it changed directions, and it gave a bounce right here off the BBC. And that one, it chopped sideways for, I don't know how many minutes. Let's see. 53 to 59. So for 6 minutes it chopped sideways, and then it actually went down, right down to the weekly trading zone. Once it got to the zone, it stayed there for, well, what's that? Half an hour. All right. Then it dropped away from the zone, and it started going down. There was a shorting opportunity right here to capture this move. All right, and there was a shorting opportunity right here that would have stopped up. Okay, so you had, I don't know how many points that is. The shorting opportunity here was from 60 1/4 down to 55.75. So 4.5 points, I think. And then you would have stopped out on this next one for 2 points. Okay, and then it changed directions, and you had a long opportunity from right here that would have probably been a break even. If you didn't trail your stop, it would have been a break even. And it ended up going right up into the zone here. There was another one right here that again gave a point or two, and that was it. That was it for the morning on the ES. Okay. Now, let's go back here to this. All right. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today was the 29th day of January. All right. And today we made 7 ticks in the euro, 2 ticks in the Russell, and 8 ticks in crude to get us to 133.75 on the day. Today it took 87 minutes and 3 trades to get to $105 a contract, and we took a total of 5 trades. So on the month now, with 1 contract trading 2 hours per day, we're at $2,363.75. That's over 17 days, averaging $139 per day per contract for 2 hours. Okay. Now, it's the same thing on the year right now, so I don't need to scroll down and do that, but I will anyway. There it is, 17 days, 23.63. Got to make sure everybody understands that the goal here is not to bump this number up over 2 hours. The goal is to bump this number up by trading more contracts. Okay. I mean, right here it's at 23.63.75, and right here, if we were trading 1 contract and we stopped once we got the goal for the day, it'd be 15.83.75. But if you were trading 2 contracts, it would be, $3,000. If you're trading 3 contracts, it'd be $4,500. That's the goal. All right. And this number is nice. This number, and that just shows that it's consistent. That we keep, the more we trade, well, I want to say the more we trade, the more we win. But we do have some red days in here. I mean, those red days ended up, not being red after a few more trades or hours, or maybe half an hour. Usually the time span between 11:30 and 12, where we actually have to break because we have to switch between the morning session and the afternoon session. That's usually a really good time to trade, just for everybody. Anybody to know who wonders when you should trade? It's when the European markets are closed and the US markets are open. That time span is usually pretty good. Okay, I mean, I say during the break in here, and usually you'll see some pretty good stuff during the break. All right, that said, let's do this one more time. If you have not taken the free trial for us, go to the homepage here at CFRN.net. Up at the top it says sign up for the CFRN live training room. 100% free trial, user indicators, learn our strategy. Click here, and when you click there, you're going to be brought to this page. In this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Click the submit button. Once you hit that submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay? If you don't click the confirmation link, well, we don't know you took the trial. Alright, so you gotta click on that link. Alright? Alright. I was a little more chatty today than I usually am. Okay. With that, we're gonna send it back out to Studio A in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. And Dwayne
So
is on.
this fabulous thing, where'd you pick that up?
Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I've been saying it for 2 years, but
I know. It just dawned on me. It's like, I'm thinking, is it really fabulous? Well, I don't know. It's, not bad. Yeah.
Well, what I used to say was
Hey, do you see my
fabulous
charts?
Las Vegas.
They're not
I
showing
do see
on
your
my,
charts.
They're not showing on
I see.
my
Yep,
monitor
there's a big
screen.
blank spot on the left, but I do see your charts.
A big blank spot.
Yeah, like you got something showing on top of your charts, but it's not actually shown, it's just black. There it goes, it's gone. No, I used to say
it's gone.
fabulous Las Vegas, but I like saying fabulous Phoenix, Arizona better.
I see the.
Remember the
I
sign?
see the charts now. Yeah. Yeah, that big sign when you come into Vegas.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I picture when I say fabulous Phoenix.
Okay. Now I
The
understand.
look inside my head.
All right. Let me make sure the guys over on YouTube have got a good picture.
Okay.
Haven't checked on that today. Then I got to open John's mic. You want to open John's mic? Please?
Yeah, I can do it.
Thank you.
I got it. Hey, John, your mic's open. John.
He may be on the phone.
Okay. Well, this mic is open.
Okay.
So.
So YouTube page. Come on, YouTube. You got big servers. Yeah, it's working. It's fine. It's just taking
Good.
a while to load, I think.
Good.
All right. Okay, guys. So we were talking about the S&P from this based on the 30-minute. Oh, Michael, what was recap of the recap?
87 minutes and 3 trades to get to $105 a contract.
87 minutes, 3 trades. Beautiful.
105. Yep.
Just beautiful.
Can I put the link up for the spreadsheet? Yeah, I'll give it to you, Joe.
When the YouTube chart loads, it's very blurry. And the other day, what I did was I changed the resolution, I think. But somebody who was watching via YouTube typed into the chat room that it looked just fine to them. It does seem to be taking an unusual amount of time to load.
I don't think so. For me, and I think it's on my side.
Bump it up. You can bump it all the way up. See, it comes up at like 144. You can bump it up to 720 HD, and then you get a pretty good picture. Yeah. So, what were you saying?
Oh, I was saying, I think it's on my side, but I've had like emails that I've been responding to and stuff. You know, I've had a bunch come back to me, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my internet or if it's.
Well, when they come back, you know, it typically has a reason. Did yours have a reason?
Yeah, it said address not found, or it didn't exist.
All right.
And there was one that had a typo in it. It was SZ at, and the domain had a typo in it. And so I fixed it, and I sent it back out, and it came back again, not found. And so I don't know. I just don't know. If
they bounce back, I'll take a look at them later and see what's up.
Okay.
All right, guys. We already covered the S&P. John, are you there? You got an open mic. Let me jingle his phone so he'll know he's got an open mic. And we'll carry on till he gets here. Wow. These phones sometimes can be very complicated. All right. Whoa. I hope that's his phone and not mine. All right, guys, let's move along. John will be here in a minute. He's logged in, but he's on the phone. So everybody understands swing low to the swing high. Got a 50% retracement. And that 50% retracement just happened to fall right in the middle of that last week's highest weekly trading zone. So if you don't trade the zones and you're not intimate with them in that way, it probably doesn't. You're like, okay, so what? Well, stick around and you'll pick it up. It really is quite fascinating. Now, look at what we're starting to build here. Look back at Friday. Remember Friday we had drawn a little trend line here. We were waiting for it to break to the downside. Oh, that was actually Thursday. This was Friday. Okay. So again, last night on the S&P, the Concierge Trade Alert idea was to consider selling 28.70. This first opportunity brought 6 points, $50 a point. And then this move right down to the zone, right down to that 50% fib retracement. 15 points at $50 per point, or $750 per contract available. That's what the market made available. We never get out at the swing high or swing low because we teach you to trail your stop. And if you trail your stop, you'll always leave a little something on the table. You will leave the door open to maximize the profit potential in the trade, but you also lock in your gains and protect the downside by always using a hard stop and by trailing that stop behind current price action. And those who receive the Concierge Trade Alerts, I work with you on that in the one-on-one mentoring sessions. So let's look at the Dow. And we got a bearish cross on the Dow. Since it's there, I'll go ahead and point it out. Now, this is the 30-minute chart. 30 minutes on the Dow. Today at 4:30 this morning, got a bearish cross. Price pulled away. Price pulled back to physically touch the BBC. So you might have touched right there or there. So you're waiting for a down close, which means you could have entered here and you'd have had a drawdown to right there. If this was yours, then you entered here and it traded right down to that highest weekly zone from last week on the Dow, 26,445/450. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. Now, here's the thing. Because we've had a bearish cross and because we're running into this weekly trading zone from last week, it shows me that there's still some good support in this area. So I would be hesitant about shorting it right here. If it bounces off, crosses back over, and takes you long, then that might be an interesting trade. Last night, in the email that was sent to subscribers, we said to consider buying 26,710, which just like on the S&P. No, I think this one did trigger. No, 26,710 did not. Okay, just like the S&P. All right, got it right the first time. Consider selling. If you don't get the long trade, consider selling 26,690. Gotta scrunch this up. Okay, right there is the Globex open last night. Then the bearish cross I was just talking about that happened at 4:30 this morning. Okay, and so and I didn't get the alerts out. Unusual. I almost always get them out before 9, especially on Sunday night. But they went out at 2:15 a.m. Eastern last night or this morning, as it's noted Monday on the alert itself. And so 26690. Be right in here. $266. That you, John? John? John, are you there? John? Okay. Well, that's awkward. John? Well, I guess I'll have to ring him again. John, pick it up.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you there? Okay. Yeah, I just want to, because I could hear you, but it didn't seem like you could hear me. Okay, now we're good.
I had a bit of a glitch with the headset.
Okay.
That's okay now.
So, how are you today?
Well, I'm sort of somewhat vindicated because I kind of thought there was a pullback coming. We had this kind of a mini blow-off on Friday, and I said that we could see a pullback start as soon as Sunday night, early Sunday night, which we got. And the VIXs are up huge, which is another thing we've been pushing here in the last few days. They may have put in a top here a short while ago. For the moment, I think we're probably going to start a rally into the State of the Union, probably from the lows of about an hour or two ago, where we recommended covering and reversing the shorts that we put on last night. A lot of stocks are breaking down today. You know, Apple in particular broke down earlier on. We did cover and reverse as I went back long again. But OLED, which is an Apple type stock, is under kind of a pressure today. And the stocks, actually we shorted the stocks earlier on near the opening week, and we've covered and reversed on those and the tech. So I think this rally is going to gather momentum, and it could there could be just like the Davos speech, there could be another kind of a buying frenzy, either into the State of the Union or possibly even beyond it. The Fed also going to have a bit of a, I think the part of the problem today is the bonds are gradually going lower. And that's sort of pressuring some stocks. That not the financials particularly, they're beneficiary, but other stocks are succumbing to the gradually rising interest rates. Now, I only see that as a short-term thing. Ultimately it's very bullish, but there's the initial reaction to it. So we were down about 40 or 50 actually on the Nasdaq, and now we're only down about 14. So the likelihood of this is actually, we're kind of back to the old routine. An early sell-off followed by a rebound is more bullish than selling off in the afternoon. So it definitely looks like the market could actually go positive before the day's out. And I'd actually sell any VIXs you got right now.
You know, the global markets, Asia was
VXX, anything like that, and even consider buying back into the XIVs.
In the global markets, Asia was red, Europe was red. The FTSE was positive by a couple points. That was the only green on the screen when I went through the numbers earlier.
Yeah, that's actually quite a, the fact that the FTSE's up is kind of a leading indicator, just like the British pound's been leading the way. We had a bit of a scare in the gold this morning. I think the lows might be in actually, and the silver as well. We put out a buy on the nugget and the J nug near the lows today, and the dollar now is selling off again. Put a sell off on the dollar about 89.40 earlier on this morning, and a short. The grains, you know what? You got to be long the grains because they really are acting really bullish now. It's the wheat has come from behind, and is the clear leader when it was an absolute dog just a couple of weeks ago. Coffee, by the way, I think the coffee's bottomed. I'd buy the coffee right here. We actually bought it lower, but I'd buy more. The sugar's probably bottomed as well. The orange juice is at a new high this morning. The lumber, we had a stop in near the highs on Friday. I think we put the stop in at 487, and it went a bit higher, and then it went through it. So we're short the lumber now, and it's almost limit down actually after 2 days on limit up. So I think maybe the lumber, there's a distinct possibility the lumber highs may actually be in.
So what do you think is moving lumber? What's the
look, it's sort of like the orange juice. They're assessing the crop damage, and the market keeps going higher. We could be in orange juice where we were a few months ago in lumber, and basically what's been happening with the lumber is that ever since the storms, we've basically been going higher apart from a couple of pullbacks. And the fact that we've gone, we got the very strong housing market, plus, there's a report out about 500,000 houses, damaged. Many are written off. So, that's placing a huge additional demand on lumber. And then you got Puerto Rico as well. The whole thing is being very, very bullish. It's what we talked about months and months ago on the show. That's what I mean. In 1992 or 3, when we had the Hurricane Andrew in 92, the lumber didn't, kind of was much more of an immediate reaction, where we went limit up for weeks after that hurricane. This one was more, it wasn't limit up every day. We've had a few limit up moves, and even a few limit down moves, but it's been a much more kind of a measured process. But look, the gold and silver are really starting to look very good here now, and may come back real strong. And not, I'm looking for a bounce in the market. I'm not as bullish as I was perhaps on Friday after seeing what happened today, because I think some candidates are getting beaten up, and the breadth is actually still pretty negative today. So there's still a lot of selling going on behind the scenes. It's improving. Incidentally, further to our comments on NVIDIA, look at it now. It's what I found out when I pick these targets and they get exceeded, it usually is a good way to go with them. To go again, get back in if you like, or keep with it. And we had a $240 target on NVIDIA, and it's gone past it, and we acknowledged that last week. One of our two stocks that we've mentioned have gone absolutely nuts. GILD, which I think we highlighted at the last buy point at around 72, 73, just hit 80, 88, 89 a minute ago. 89. And Intercept has gone crazy as well. I think we call that bottom around 50, even as low as 52.5, 53, and it just hit 60, 68, 69 a short while ago. This is a very, very powerful stock. I mean, that's why I've been going on about it, sort of saying when it takes off, it'll really go like the, you know, this is a stock that may just be getting started. I mean, this is a stock that's capable of going back to 100, maybe even 200. It's really, it may be time for another big run in this stock. So you definitely got to be paying attention to intercepts, ICPT. Some sells. We basically have had a strategy in the last few days of selling the highs of where we felt stocks were going to turn. Quite a few of them have turned down, such as AMBA. First Solar, I figured that the Trump raising of the of the import duties on solars is going to hurt that stock, and I don't think we've seen anything yet. I think if they come out with any kind of bad news or guidance, stock's going to get slammed. It's, some of the other stocks are very, very bullish. Netflix is, when you get a really, really big number, the market tends to have a lot of momentum. And actually, if you remember, we shorted Netflix first, bought it back at 250, shorted at 256, bought it back at 250. And went long again, and I think it's up around 280 now or somewhere. It's just amazing what's happened with this stock. 280, 284 at the moment. So, and it's really powering the market higher. I think if it wasn't for Netflix, I think the market would be in a lot more trouble. Even Facebook went down this morning for some reason. It's sort of picking back up again, and I think it's this week Facebook could hit new highs still. Amgen is very strong as well, and the LABU. Remember we talked about it going to 200. It's definitely it's been unbelievably strong in the last couple of last week or so. It's hit 116 this morning, and it's right now at 114. So this stock really could go to 200 if this bull market is as big as we think it's going to be. So by the way, I don't know whether you heard the news a short while ago, but McCabe is stepping down from the FBI.
No, and, I had not heard that.
I think that's a huge win for Trump, and it is. I think he's stepping down because he's getting ahead of the news. Because if this memo comes out, I think all the dots are connected, and they all connect to him. So that's a good bit of the deep state out of the picture now, and the sooner the rest of it happens, the better. As I said, this guy Carter Worth. There was a report about the what happened with the Pfizer. In fact, if you Google Joe DeGeneva, the former federal prosecutor, he's got a 30-minute interview where he explains the whole thing, all the skullduggery that's been going on with the FBI. And if you remember when we first heard about this, I said there were probably rogue people in there who there probably still are, who have the ability to tap anybody's phone. But it seems like, in spite of everything, they did try to play by the book. So they decided that the path of least resistance, or the patsy, if you like, was Carter Worth, and he was the way to get the Pfizer warrant so they could surveil the Trump campaign, and so they set this guy up. And what's so interesting is in the interview with Smirkonish, he basically said, listen, I'm the patsy, but guess what? I'm as clean as a whistle. I'm certainly not a recruit to a Russian agent. He said, look, I was head of Merrill Lynch in Moscow for years, and he says, I have contacts in Moscow. That doesn't make me to say that I'm a recruit. So they use this, and then when somebody the Admiral Rogers, who's the head of the NSA, when he found out what was going on, he was going to go to the judge, but the FBI beat him to it, and they sort of confessed to the judge how they used these, Carter Worth as a setup. So that's really the whole story. And I think it's things that I haven't, and obviously it's what everybody's scared of, democratically wise, is that it's not just McCabe and the FBI, but the Rice, Rosen, and Obama and Hillary. All of them they're all up to it in their eyeballs. I thought that was part of the reason why the stock market might have been selling off this morning, because this whole thing could blow up pretty quick, and it could all come out in a kind of a torrent.
Did you hear that Prince Al Walid was released today?
I did, yeah.
Now, it was a corruption crackdown that got him locked up in November. He's an investor in Twitter and Lyft. What was the reason for them to suddenly let him go?
He paid $6 billion.
Oh, okay.
Biggest shakedown in history, I guess. Well, maybe not quite. I think Putin's shakedown of Rusky was bigger, but it's very. I think it's really unnerving that the government can go after people like this, who are pretty legitimate. Let's face it.
Did you hear about this new camera? Go ahead.
I mean, look, it's you don't know how. Maybe he's up. Maybe $6 billion of his fortune may have been illegally gotten in some way, shape, or form. But and there's plenty of corruption in Saudi Arabia, I'm sure. But I think Putin going after the richest man in Russia was really over the top, and a very, very bad light on society in general. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I wanted to hear you out.
So, well, look, I mean, it could happen in the U.S. I mean, it does happen. Look at, I mean, they basically did to the banks what they did to Prince Al Walid. I mean, they took JVM for about $15 billion, and all of the banks, I think they ripped them off for about $45 billion. It's amazing the banks have recovered from that, because it was a pretty big hit to all these banks. So, and I think the prospect of them going after people at some point in the future can never be ruled out anymore, which is why there's a lot of stuff on the internet about being how your bank account could be vulnerable to being hijacked, and you could be put out of business. So I think you have to be very, very careful these days.
You hear about this big crypto hack in Japan?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, that's another example.
$400 million, biggest ever, and the Tokyo-based company that runs CoinCheck, says that they're going to repay everybody out of their own capital. So they must be doing pretty good.
That's amazing. So what were you saying about the camera?
Well, it's kind of difficult to explain. It's almost like they wrote a white paper instead of a here. We got another little article here. Let's see. Yeah, it's called Google Clips. It's a camera from Google, and it doesn't have a screen. It's $250, but they're all sold out now. You can't get one, and Google hasn't decided if they're going to make any more. 3 months ago, they announced Google Clips, a tiny clip-on camera powered by some impressive machine learning technology. The idea behind it was that rather than require you to choose when to take a photo, you could trust the device to make that decision itself, So parents hoping to capture special moments with their kids don't also have to take themselves out of the moment to do it. And for the last week you could order one if you knew about it, but they're all gone now. And I've looked at some of these samples. You just clip it wherever, on your belt, on your shirt pocket, and just go about your daily routine. And through machine learning, it understands when you spend a lot of time with certain people, that those people are important to you or pets, and it uses an algorithm to take the picture. And that's a little scary. I know that's a little intrusive almost. Don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
$250 and they sold out. It doesn't say how many they made, but it does say they don't know if they're going to make any more. I guess those will become valuable in time if they choose not to make any more. Now, YouTube is being blamed for serving up ads containing some of the cryptocurrency mining and malware that people are getting infected with. So, guys, you need to make sure. I run a virus scan, malware scan every night at 3 a.m. while I'm sleeping. I mean, my computer's on 24/7, and so the scan just runs. And when I get up in the morning, if it found anything, there's a report waiting for me. If there's no report, I know everything was fine. But you just can't be careful enough these days. Anything else you want to cover, John?
Yeah, I think I mentioned to you, this is one of the ones where we got lucky, that on the WIN, WY, and then I noticed it was up above. It's kind of, remember like when we sold dry ships after it went to 102, we sold it at 101 and it said to go short at 100. Kind of did the same thing on WIN when it went over 200, went to 203. And I think we put a sell either 201 or 200. And I obviously didn't know anything was going to come out like it did, but the stock dropped to 100. It's right now at 166 and change just now. So it's had a very, very big fall in 2 days, in a couple of days. Epic fall for that stock.
Is this an earnings fallout or?
No, this is the WIN. You know, the sexual harassment thing.
Oh, well, I actually. There's been so many people accused, I can't keep track of it anymore.
Yeah, right. But I would probably look to buy it now. I think you'd probably want to have a buy stop, maybe even a 167 on this, because it could rebound pretty quickly. This stock, you know, it's serious players, serious players who you know, investment funds. They when a stock gets hit for some sort of a reason like this, they usually come in and buy it a few days after it happens.
Well, from this high down to this low, the 2014 high down to the 2016 low, looks like we got a 50% fib retracement, reverse fibs. So you may run into some resistance here. I haven't studied the chart. I'm just looking at this little line chart that I've got up on the screen. This is the last 5 years. And that's the last 5 days.
Yeah, we actually one trade that's going quite well for us is took a shot at Delta Airlines on Friday, Delta and United, and they've
What's
actually
Delta symbol?
DAL. It had a sharp fall a couple of days ago and started to turn on Friday. Also, we shorted the oil complex last night, and it turned out to be a pretty good trade. We covered around 65.20 this morning, and it's rallying off that already. So I think, remember what happened the last time? The oil got hit pretty hard for a day or two. It turned very quickly back up, and I figured it's probably going to do the same, and it seems to be starting to do that again. So let's see what happens this afternoon. We're only six points down on the Nasdaq now, so going positive looks. I think if the market goes positive, which looks like it's going to do any minute now, probably going to see a pretty strong rally in the Nasdaq into the afternoon. So
Yeah, it's well, everybody heard all the red when we started the show today. Let's see where we're parked right now. Yeah, well, the Dow was down like 120 when we started the show, and it's only down 63 now.
yeah, this could turn into another kind of a Friday buying panic between now and Wednesday. The only thing is when the Fed comes, if they're going to raise rates, if they raise rates by 50, which they could do, that could possibly trigger a sell-off. I'm not sure if 25 will do it.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. That, the Fed has the ability to shock the market if they want to, and we have a supermoon, a blue moon, and a total eclipse of the moon on January 31st, along with the Fed tsunami. So
yeah, we got a lot. Look, I think the sell-off from this mini mania from Friday is a warning sign. It's a little bit of a shot across the bows, so you have to be careful. But I went back and looked at the 86, 87, and I think there was a couple of days. There was a late January sell-off, which we might have just had today, and then there was an early February sell-off, and then after that, the market was back up again and didn't stop till April. So that could be the recipe for this market.
Yep, that would be nice. Okay, John, thanks for everything.
Well, listen, thanks for the invite. We'll look forward to seeing you.
And we'll talk with you same time tomorrow.
Okay, much obliged. Bye.
All right, thank you.
You too.
Okay, guys. All right, we walked through the S&P. We had a nice move, 300 on the Concierge, and then 15 on the Dow. We didn't get a trigger. There was something wrong with that alert. And whenever you see something and you look at the numbers, you go, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't match up. Then stay away from it, because yes, I do make mistakes. So on the Russell selling 1604, there was 2 points there, and then 2 points there, and then 2 points there, and then 2 points there, and by golly, 2 points there, and let's leave it at that. So you had an opportunity to catch a couple points off the Russell. Let's see, what do we got here? That's the NQ. There was an error on that one as well. Well, what do you expect? They were sent at 2:15 a.m. Eastern. All right. So now we're on gold. These are still last week's zones. Everything you see up on the screen today, tomorrow, and Wednesday are last week's zones. So we have a descending price channel on gold. This is based on the 30-minute chart. Leg and a retrace, and a leg and a retrace, and a leg, and a retrace, and a leg, and a retrace, and a leg. And we're up against weekly zone. As price came down, what do we expect? The number one thing, only three things can happen, and the most typical would be consolidation, which we got, but ultimately price did go. So when price is falling, we assume that a zone is going to be good support until when? Until it isn't. There you go. Now, as price pulled back up and hit this Concierge Trade Alert from last night to consider selling 1344, it touched it, puts in a little doji there, right above last week's zone, and then rolls over. $790 per contract available. But again, if you follow what we teach, you're not going to get out at the swing high or swing low, because you'll be trailing your stop. Okay? Alright, let's go to our good word for the day. As soon as I close John's mic. Yeah, there we go. So he's off the hook now. Good word for the day. We'll talk about this for a couple days. You know, everybody's always telling you to read your Bible. Read the Word, stay in the Word. You know, well, that is good advice. All the answers to every problem you'll ever encounter in life are in there somewhere. You got to read it to find it. But it's not enough to just read it. You got to do it. Faith is not what you believe, it's what you do with what you believe. Ergo, just do it. James 1:22. Be doers of the word, not merely hearers. A businessman known for his ruthlessness, his arrogance, and religiosity told Mark Twain that before he died, he intended to visit the Holy Land, climb Mount Sinai, and read the Ten Commandments aloud. Mark Twain replied, I have a better idea. Why don't you just stay here in Boston and keep them? Get it? All right. We'd rather cogitate on what we don't know than act on what we do know. For example, a company knows that it needs to improve its quality control. So the executives discuss the problem, listen to presentations, read all kinds of books, look at state-of-the-art systems, but never actually get around to doing anything. The problem isn't ignorance. It's knowing too much and doing too little. Now with trading, yes, we have indicators, but do we have 17 up on the chart at the same time? No. You get so many conflicting signals that you never have the confidence that you need to actually assume the risk and put on a trade with a hard stop. So you have to decide what's really important to you, and that's what we've done, and that's why we haven't changed anything for 5 years, because when you have something that's working, I mean, your car, you do maintenance, but until it's broken and doesn't work, you don't take it into the shop, right? Okay. Now, another everyday example, people would rather debate the merits of protein versus carbs, French cooking versus vegetarian, lifting weights versus cardio workouts. People would rather discuss all of that than just change how they eat. The bottom line is simple. Expend more calories than you take in. That's the bottom line. It's not easy, but it can be simple. Likewise, some Christians would rather debate doctrine than take you in. They would rather debate doctrine than do what Jesus said to do. As the old ad for Nike trainers said, just do it. Practice loving a difficult person. Try forgiving someone. Give some money away. Stop and say thanks. Worship God. Encourage a friend. Give some money away. Bless an enemy. And when you're in the wrong, be man or woman enough to say, I'm sorry. Let's face it. You already know more than you need to. And nothing turns people off faster than somebody with a head full of knowledge who lacks grace and character. It's the same today as it was when James wrote it so many years ago. Be doers of the word and not merely hearers. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. That's our good word for the day. As we part on this Monday, 29th day of January 2810, S&P trying to make a move to the upside, NASDAQ trying to make a move to the upside, Dow, yeah, we see where the Dow is going to run into trouble. Now, these are the indicators that we use every day in the live training room on the 4-tick range chart applied on a 30-minute chart. Markets are fractal in nature, and so what happens on a 1 minute, a 30-minute, a daily, and a weekly, it's all the same. If I remove the prices and the times, you would have no way of knowing if this was a 1-minute chart or a weekly chart. Think about that. So on a 30-minute, bearish cross, price pulled away, price pulled back, down close, sell the open to the next candle, -1 tick. and it took you to a reasonable target and where you might expect to find support. Last week's highest weekly trading zone on the Dow. And when price reverts to the mean and hits the BBC, the highest probability is that it will put in another leg down. If we close above and if the step line touches the BBC, then any short trade potential is canceled and you start looking for the long once you have the bullish cross, keeping in mind the most recent swing high. Trading's not easy, but it can be simple. Okay, I just saw your question, Mike. What would you look for on that 30-minute chart on gold? Higher highs? Go to the gold chart. Here, well, last night the trade alert was to sell 1344 if you are unable to buy 1350. And at 1350 we realized that we would potentially only have a 2-point run up to last week's zone at 52, but we were okay with that because that would be $200 per contract. Now that we've moved a little bit deeper, let's see if we can get it all in focus for just a minute. Okay. At this point, I would probably trade 1348 or maybe 49, 1349 to 1351. Well, wait a minute, this is 42. If it breaks out of that trend line, comes back, does it? Couldn't you trade it up to 48? You could. You could. Just expect that where this 38 is, it's a 38% fib retracement, but it's a whole lot of other stuff too. So that's an area you want to be careful at. So could you go 43 to 45? Yeah, potentially. Once this pops out, it may come back, touch, confirm good support, and then take off. Gary, oh, you know what, Gary, I'll start it for you tonight. I'm sorry, I didn't see that come in, but I will, I'll get you on the list, okay? In fact, let me grab your, okay, I just copied your email address to my clipboard, and then I'll put you on the list, and you'll get them tonight. You'll get them for 5 days, okay? Sorry about that. I just didn't see it over the weekend. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with the licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.